Richie, what's the 0-3 start? You're a 3-point favorite against Cal this weekend. Um, what's the best case scenario for Florida State? Realistically, things start to break your way. You pick up the wins you're supposed. Like, what is the best case scenario? You've got Cal, SMU, Clemson, UNC, Duke, Charleston Southern, Miami, Notre Dame, Florida. I'd say Notre Dame, Clemson, Miami, absolute sure losses. I don't know if you'd add anything else to the sure loss column or not at this point. So what's your best worst case scenario for this team right now?
So I think best case is you get to a bowl game, so 6-6, because last year you had everything break your way, right? Like it's very rare that a team has the season Florida State had last year, which is why I'm still so upset we did not get an invitation to the college football playoff because everything broke your way, and your record on paper said you belonged, and the committee said, no, Nick Saban's going to retire, so we're going to get him in there instead. That was upsetting. Um, I don't think it's realistic to think you're going to win the next 9 games. I don't think it's realistic to think you win 8 of the next 9 games, and I don't think it's realistic to think that you are going to win 7 of the next 9 games because you're going to lose a game that you probably were the better team and played well, but some weird things happened and you lost. I hate to say this. I think 6-6 is your ceiling. The floor, you're beating Sanford or Charleston Southern. Um, you're going to win some games, even if you don't look well and don't play well. You're going to win some. I think 4-8 is really realistically your floor, but I do think 6-6 is probably the ceiling at this point. And go win that bowl game, have a winning record, 7-5. Erase it from our memory, Men in Black style, and move on to next week.
Yeah, you're slightly more positive than me. I think you're until I see otherwise. Like, I don't have confidence they're going to beat Cal, and I don't really have a lot of confidence that they're going to beat SMU, and then I think they're going to lose to Clemson. And so that to me, that's 6 losses right there, right?
Yeah.
So for you to get to 6-6, you have to beat every single team.
We're talking ceiling, though.
Yeah. No, I agree. I don't think they're better than UF right now. Like, could they beat UF? Maybe. I don't think they're better than UF. And I think once Napier gets out of there and he's not switching quarterbacks every other drive like an idiot, because Mertz was actually moving the ball down the field last night, like just an absolute masterclass in signing your own death warrant. It's like he wants the buyout money. At least Norvell, I think, is trying to win games. And Napier, it looks like he's actively trying to lose it. Mertz drives them down for 75-yard touchdown drives twice, and they put Lagway in immediately after it throws picks. Like, what are you doing, bro? So, yeah, all that said, I think an interim coach won't do that, and Mertz will eat us up and down the field. So, yeah, to me, the ceiling is 5-7. Right now, you go out and you look better, and you beat Cal and SMU and beat Duke and Carolina and look somewhat competitive. Then maybe I'll change my mind on that Florida game. But I don't see you beating Florida this year. I'm just being honest. Now they're an absolute dumpster fire too. So maybe my mind changes on that. Maybe they go on the road and lose to Mississippi State, who lost to Toledo yesterday. Like, maybe UF just continues to look worse and worse and worse and quits down the end of the road. But man, I have a hard time thinking that Florida State doesn't quit at some point too. So yeah, to me the ceiling is 5-7. That would be wins against Cal, SMU, Duke, Carolina, and Charleston Southern. I don't think you can beat Miami, Clemson, Notre Dame, or Florida right now. Yeah, I know everybody got real excited when Notre Dame lost to Boise State. They came out and looked like absolute world beaters, and I expect them to be a lot better this year. Yeah. So yeah, 5-7 is my ceiling. Love to change that back to a bowl, but right now I don't see it. And then floor, honestly, I need to see the offense look somewhat competent before I can give them a floor of more than like 1 or 2 wins. Like, and I know that's drastic. I know that's harsh, but like, I didn't think, like, our trenches didn't dominate a group of 5 opponent yesterday. Like, that's, and I'm not trying to be like super negative or super like, but like we couldn't dominate a group of 5 set of trenches. And so I just don't really have a lot of confidence that, games are won up front. I don't have a lot of confidence that we'll dominate any ACC trenches, including Cal, including SMU, including Duke. And so If you can't win in the trenches against those teams, well, then you're going to count on DJ to go win it for you, or Brock to go win it for you, or linebackers to make tackles, or your wide receivers to catch the ball. So, to me, the floor is like you're going to beat Charleston Southern, and then maybe you get one more win. Like the floor is like 1 or 2 wins. I mean, the floor truly to me is 1-11. Like I don't think we go.
No way, no way,
bro. Every team on this schedule is going to be tougher than Memphis was from a trench perspective. I'm just saying, like they will. Like besides Charleston Southern, everybody on this schedule is better on the offense and defensive lines than Memphis was, and so that worries me. That absolutely worries me. Now that's a floor, right? Like I think we'll beat Duke. I think we'll beat Carolina. I think that'll get us to 3 wins. If we can steal one from Cal or SMU, that's 4, right? If you beat both those teams, then I think you can get to that 5, right? But right now, I think the floor, like, if you can lose in the trenches and you can get pushed around by Memphis, I think you could get pushed around by anybody on the schedule. And if they play better, right? Like that's what it all comes down to. Then I think it's possible that you could see them not go 1-10, 1-11, right? Hopefully if we're 1-10, hopefully we COVID this thing and don't even play against Florida like we did in 2020 against Clemson. But yeah, I mean, no, I don't think they hit the floor. I also don't think they hit the ceiling. I think they hit 3 or 4. Like 3 or 4 would be my prediction right now. They win one of the next 2. They beat the Carolina schools. They beat Charleston Southern. And they get to 3 or 4 wins. Like that's kind of how I see it going down. Love to be wrong, but that's how I see it. Defense did play better yesterday. Maybe that's something to build on. I don't think Cal's very good. I don't think the win against Auburn is very good. I don't think Auburn's great, right? Auburn looked like crap yesterday.
And so high note for everybody.
Say what?
Ending the show on a high note for everyone.
I was just being honest, like they watched the game yesterday. They knew what they were. They watched the game.
Nobody wants to be lied to. Let's be honest.
I'll get right back to chatting with Richie, but first, let me give some love to our friends over at the National Mango Board. We've seen them out at a few events. They've been at games this year, and we certainly do appreciate our partnership with them. Listen, I know the season's not going the way you want it to go, but you cannot be disappointed or unhappy when you are eating a mango. So go to your local grocer. The next time you're in there, make sure that you're picking up a couple of mangoes. If you want to tag them in social media, that certainly helps us. That certainly helps show that we're spreading that message. But again, go to your local grocer, grab some mangoes. We appreciate them for not only their support of FSU athletics, but also our channel. And we appreciate the Mango Board for helping us out this year. Yeah, y'all watched the game. Y'all knew this wasn't going to be something.
We've all seen.
Yeah,
we've all seen these 180 minutes of football.
Yeah, I'm not sure what people thought they were, what they were going to get out of an FSU show after the first 3 weeks of the year. So, we'll see, right? It's surprising to me, and I just wonder if I wonder how much that's already moved. The fact that Cal line came out at Florida State -3, like it's goofy, right? Where he like kind of looks like a criminal or whatever. And he's got the pink background. And he's like, I'll effing do it again. Like that's Vegas with Florida State. Like they just refuse to make Florida State an underdog, and I don't know why. But Cal -3 or Cal +3, like that line is going to end up moving our way because certainly people are going to bet it the other way, right, Richie? Like, is it crazy that they have it at Cal as a 3-point dog?
I don't think so. I'm not that impressed with Cal, even though I know they beat Auburn, at Jordan Hare, which was, impressive, but I don't think Auburn's very good. I think them flying across the country, which granted they did that against Auburn, they'd had to fly across the country. We'll see what happens. I'm trying to see if there's a updated line right now because that 3 points was a little surprising to me. I thought it'd be closer to a pick 'em or 1.5. It's down to 2.5 right now on the Hard Rock Sportsbook. So
yeah.
It has dropped by 0.5 point.
Yeah, I haven't seen too much. Yeah, I've still got 2.5 here too. So yeah, but yeah, I mean, yeah, that's a floor and a ceiling. Worst case scenario, I think they could be imagine going 0-12. But yeah, worst case scenario, I think it'd be a 1-10 team. Now, go win the next 2 games. I'll say this: go win the next 2 games, get to 2-3, right? And then I think Clemson's going to come in here and beat our tails. But get to 2-3, and then I think you have a little hope for some of those teams you play on the back end.
Give DJ a chance against his former team,
dude. I'll say that
you get to 3-3 there.
You'll probably make a bowl
at that point. Watch out.
Well, because if you beat Clemson, you can beat. I mean, realistically, not anyone else, but you could beat anybody else, right?
You're not going to beat
And
Miami this
if
year.
you
I hate to say it. You're not beating Miami.
if you beat Clemson, then you could certainly beat the other North Carolina teams. You could beat
Yeah,
Charleston
sure.
Southern. You beat Florida. You'll make a bowl if you beat Clemson, I think. So I don't know. What stinks though is being a rival with Miami, because if we weren't, like, Miami is due for that like one letdown game. Like,
Yeah.
that's gonna, like, they're going to go 11-1 this year and just have a meltdown game against somebody. Maybe it's South Florida this weekend. Maybe, who knows? Miami's going to do that eventually. It's just not going to be against us, because you just don't do that against your rival, right? Like, you do that against.
You can't do that with the trenches that you have. Like, that's,
Yeah. Well, but yeah, you're going to have a game where Mario goes out there and just is absolutely terrible, and they just look like crap. But it's probably going to be like against Louisville or something, like, or Georgia Tech. Like, it's not going to be against their rival, unfortunately. So, all right.